How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another Code Peterson tutorial. We're doing some more GB Studio, making a Game Boy game with parallax scrolling. I have a few scenes here set up, and I'll show you the difference between those here in a little bit. But if we go through and we play the scene as default, we have our little character here, and everything on the screen moves at the exact same rate, whether it be the ground I'm running on, to this platform here that I can jump on, to this shrubbery back here, whatever you want to call it, in these clouds. They all move at the exact same rate. Well, it's kind of cool when you see in games where things that are closer move faster and things that are further away move at a slower rate. It's pretty easy to do. All you have to do is choose the scene that you want to add parallax scrolling to, and you can go over to this little button here in the upper right hand corner that says parallax when you hover over it, and it asks you how many layers you want. Now, it's not really like layers like Photoshop layers where you're stacking pieces of paper on top of each other and the closest layer to you is like closest to you in a 3D sense. These are more like sediment layers from bottom to top, like you're stacking them vertically that way. Nevertheless, I will select 3 layers, and we start with the top layer, and you want to choose which elements or how far down that's going to go. By default on this one on my screen anyways, it says 3 for the height. But if I increase this, see, it moves those things down. Now, I made this top level intentionally wrong to show you some problems that you want to avoid. Like if I want all the clouds to move at the same rate, I would select those clouds like that. And then if I wanted the background to move at a different rate, the shrubs or the bushes or whatever, or those could even be some kind of a cloud too. I don't really know what I was making there, but just some background elements. Then I could have those selected. And then the final layer is the actual ground. Now the ground is going to move at a speed of 1. The ground above that is going to move half the speed, and then we have quarter the speed. So the closer to the ground it is, the faster they're going to move. Now, if I save this and I run my program here, you can see as we move to begin with, there's no problems. Everything looks like it's going good. These bushes here in the background are moving faster, but not as fast as the ground, and the clouds moving a little bit slower. But when we move over here, we're tearing our shape apart, right? And we don't even see all the clouds that were lower in that area. And when I jump here, that's not where the platform is. Here's where the platform is, where I don't have any ground there, which can cause a bit of a problem. So this was kind of how I designed that first level, and then I redesigned it a second level to show you how you want to be thinking about putting this together in order to have parallax scrolling working the best way. If you look here, we have the ground, we have this area, and then I have these things down here along the ground, and then I have another layer of them up here to kind of move, and then I have clouds up in the top layer. There's not really anything leaking down. Now you certainly can do that, but like if this cloud is down here, and if I only have this top layer moving at the slowest rate, this cloud down here is going to be moving at the same rate of these, and your clouds aren't going to be with the same effect. Not to say that you're going to have problems or that it makes your game worse, but it might be noticeable. In some cases it's not real noticeable, but in certain cases it is. It's just something you'll have to kind of play around with. All right, so we'll click this, we'll go over here and we'll add parallax to this level, and here I will choose 3 layers, and I'll start up here at the top, and I'll bring this down to the bottom of the clouds and above the brush or whatever that you want to call that stuff underneath it. Now the brush or those trees or bushes or whatever, I'm only going to go as far down as that platform. And then I'm not going to move anything else underneath it. Everything else is going to move at the same rate. All right, so I'll save that. I'm going to click just in this area out here and start on scene 2. So that's the one that I edited properly. And then we'll run this program again. And now when we move, we have each layer, as they call them, moving at different rates. Now, it'd probably be better if I use something different for this down here if it didn't perfectly match this up here. Another thing you could do if all these other little leaves and everything bother you, something I could have done would be just have the zigzagging line up here for that also. But regardless, it gives you a nice parallax effect, kind of making your game feel a little bit more like it's got some depth to it in there, a little more 3D to it. And there it is. That's parallax scrolling. So I've had a few people ask if to show how to get that to work, and hopefully that helps out. And down the road, I want to put together something with a heads-up display where we are replacing the pixels of our background here of our map, and there's going to be some parallax scrolling with that. So I wanted to be sure to do this tutorial first so that it kind of works as a nice intro to that next step as we go to trying to hopefully create a heads-up display that doesn't slow our game down at all. Let me know what you think in the comments if this is helpful. I appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you on another tutorial video.